I actually have something. I don't know if you've watched it, but I don't need to go right now. You can go
Okay.
first.
Cool.
I'll just wrap it up.
Yeah, we have a couple music things this week. Just a couple. Not much
Just
has
a
happened.
couple. No,
Nothing big
nothing
happened.
big. No.
Although I want to say I called it. That's I'm gonna
You
start off
did.
with that. I called it.
You did.
I said May 13th last week.
Yep. I was a fool and I said June 2nd or June 6th.
I don't know,
forgot
whatever the Friday would be for that.
No, I
That's
said
what you
June
said.
13th because I wanted him to
Oh, yeah.
like really delay it.
Like really reach to the last
Really
possible
push
moment.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This dude only releases albums in the spring though. So
Okay. I should have seen
I think
that
Good
coming.
Kid was in October, but every other release has been in spring.
Okay. So the other two albums.
Yeah.
Oh, three albums.
Yeah. March. The crazy thing is TPAB was March 15th, Damn was April 14th, and this one's May 13th.
Do you
So
think
we're like descending as the months go.
Do you think that's intentional?
I doubt it. I think it's just a weird coincidence.
Because I thought that March 13th was like, or what is it? March 15th was like important to. Is that like Tupac's birthday? Or is that his birthday?
His birthday is June 17th.
Oh,
I just know
I don't
because it's
remember.
Babjab's birthday. I think it's a Christian thing.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then Damn was something else, wasn't it?
Damn was Easter weekend, I believe, or Good Friday.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
then people
Good
thought
Friday.
an album was releasing on Easter, and then 5 years later it never came out. But yeah, he is back. Kendrick is back officially. We have
Yahoo!
the album title as well, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppas.
Mr. Mondo and the Big Spappas.
Mr. Mogus and the Big Sussers. Yeah, so I work in the office Monday through Wednesday, so I didn't know about this until I got home at 6 o'clock.
Oh, really?
All right, cool.
I sent you a Discord message.
Yeah, my
as soon
Discord
as I saw
messages
it.
don't show up on my phone for some reason. But
Oh, I saw it. Because I follow him on Twitter and I got the notification.
Yep.
I'm like, oh no!
I was waiting for the one day that it would finally happen. Like, this is like following a dead person. It's like nothing ever happens on there, but like, boom, the one tweet. He was just replying to someone that said like, Kendrick Lamar is officially retired.
Yeah.
And then he just posted that.
He posted it's just the name of the album and then the release date. And I saw the date and I'm like, Babby, you guessed this last week. How do you keep doing this?
There's something in my brain. I don't know what it is.
You're a psychic. I think that's what it is.
When I go to Vegas, I'm winning big. Okay,
that's true.
Roulette's my game. But yeah, he did like the Michael Jordan "I'm back" statement as the album announcement, which is very smart.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have a lot to work with here. We got a couple weeks.
Yep.
We will be having a reaction to it, obviously.
Yeah.
But name, very different than what I thought. I didn't have any name in mind or like anything since he hasn't given us anything to go off of. But
I mean, Oklahoma.
Oklahom's the only thing we've really gotten. But my initial thought was like, okay, live band. That's the first thought that came into my head.
Yeah. It strikes me as like a doo-woppy type group.
Yep. And we heard the rumors of like rock and roll. So I'm thinking we could maybe get like a 60s doo-wop rock type sound.
I'm thinking maybe a Chloe in the next 20th century, but maybe like something like that where it's
more recent. Yeah.
Yeah, that one's a little bit older, but like,
yeah,
something like that.
I could see something like that.
Which would be definitely different.
It would be
none
different.
Of his albums are the same.
I'm expecting something absolutely like completely different from him, since it has been 5 years. I feel like there is a trilogy from Good Kid to Damn, so this is like a new era, new label.
Which is this one's still on TB.
This is his last with TDE, but he's doing all the promo through PG Lang, so he's 95% out the door. The only thing that TDE has is literally the release of it.
Yeah.
But it feels weird that it's actually happening now.
I know.
It's been 5 years. I've graduated high school and college and found a job and moved 3 times since Damn came out.
That's
3
crazy.
times.
So
That was what you were saying, that like Brockhampton
Brockhampton was
broke
founded, released an entire discography, and then broke up before Kendrick released another album.
Although that turned out not to be true, because they do have a new album coming out, which I guess...
Yeah, but they played their last show.
They did.
Tonight.
They played their last show before
Yep.
Kendrick. Yeah.
Yes.
Big news.
Big news. Yeah, I feel like Matt, like, keeping expectations in check. I think my early prediction is going to be people aren't going to like it at first, because I think he's going to do something very different.
Yeah.
I feel like Range Brothers and stuff was kind of like a precursor, and like, okay, he's trying a lot of different things.
He's definitely doing something. We'll see how much. I don't know exactly what the reception was to Family Ties, Brothers.
It was very positive.
Okay, I didn't really like Family Ties. I mean, Kendrick was all right in it, but I thought it was a little bit too all over the place for me. But Range Brothers was pretty fun.
Yeah,
I liked them.
They were just two fun tracks. Yeah,
they're going hard, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it was just like not what I especially wanted from Kendrick coming back, but I recognize that those are baby.
I like that he just had fun. Like, hyping up this comeback is going to be kind of the death of him. And people take Kendrick so seriously, but at the end of the day, like, I want him to just make an artistic statement on what he does. People get mad when he doesn't do some overarching, like, crazy crap. So I'm hoping it's going to be some grand artistic statement, because it is Kendrick, and this is the only artist in the world that can do these, like, very overt, widespread things where people will listen and dig deeper. While the album still sells #1 and, like, goes platinum in the first week. Like, no other artist can do that. A lot of other artists deserve that treatment, but they don't often get it.
Right.
But yeah, we've seen outfits. He's filmed a couple of music videos. Those are from, like, last year when he was, like, floating on the water and, like, the beach. There's the one with him on the telephone with the bike and stuff. So It feels very nomadic. It feels very organic. So I'm definitely expecting live sounds. I'm expecting more atmosphere. I would love if he went drumless. I know
Frank Ocean.
Yeah, abstract hip hop is kind of veered towards not heavy drums in the past couple of years. And I think it's worked very well to give stories across, and I think that'd be a super awesome atmosphere. But we'll see what he does. I'm ready. I think we're going to get the Heart Part 5, or whatever he's going to call it. I think we're going to get that probably next week. I think
the week before the album comes out, or this week?
No, it's going to be probably next, or the 29th, probably.
Okay. I just want your prediction to be solid so that we all know when it's going to come out.
Thank you. Yes. I think he might do a single. I'm not sure yet.
You think it's going to be the Heart Part 5 and then a single on top of that?
Yes. I feel like they'll be a week apart.
It could be.
That's kind of what he did with Damn. I think with all the hype surrounding him, I mean, I would not like a single, honestly. I would just like the Heart, because the Heart kind of puts where he's at. It usually gives, like, a good idea of what production's going to sound like. But I would like to keep it, like, ambiguous after that. I don't know if I need a single. I want to experience the whole thing.
Well, if you want, we can ignore the single. If it comes out...
No way I'm ignoring the single if it comes out. That's the issue.
Okay. I would be willing to
I can't do that to myself.
Do the whole album.
I can't do that to myself. Unless it comes out, like, the Wednesday of the album's release. Because I know sometimes people will release a single the week of the album.
But here's the thing with Kendrick singles is that sometimes the single isn't what we get on the album. Like with I.
Yeah.
You might do something like that where it's
I can see that.
Weirdo mode on the album. And then it's just like a pop song. Or not a pop song, but the, like, poppier version of it as the single.
Yeah, that's the thing with T-Pab is people didn't like the singles. Like, at all.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be the best album ever created. But people didn't like I. They thought it was really poppy, and then people thought Blacker the Berry was, like, incredibly tone deaf at the time, because I don't know if I agree with that single even coming out.
It's a weird single.
It is, because you need the context of the record to fully understand it. I mean, it's a very potent statement outside of it, but I think with all the stuff going on around, because that was like 2014, 2015,
Yeah.
there was a lot of tension happening, and still is
Mm-hmm.
happening. That kind of started the rising tension that hasn't died down at all.
Yeah.
But people did not appreciate that song until the full record came out.
No.
And Humble went
Those are
hard for
weird.
Damn. I remember Humble
Humble
coming out,
went
and
hard.
I was like, oof.
Everybody loves
I
Humble.
love Humble.
It's everyone's favorites.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that one makes sense as a single though.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
I
that song has
guess.
over 1 billion plays.
Yeah,
That is a lead single for you.
that's a lead single. Like it would have made sense to do it like a King Kunta on
Yeah,
Dab.
that
Like,
would have made
one's
a
like
lot
a
more sense.
standalone song
Yep.
that you can just jam without the context of the record.
I feel like he wanted that with T-Pab though. He wanted to be conflicting,
It could be.
just because like, I mean, that record is so like you need to listen to this and get into it.
Yeah.
He forced attention, but I don't know. I have a very big feeling that this one's not going to be commercial at all. I feel like he's going to be artsy,
I mean, it could be.
more artsy than it usually is.
You know, it would be fine
Mm-hmm.
as long as it sounds good.
Oh, it'll sound good. I'm just
I
wondering.
guess we'll see.
Yeah,
That's the big news this week.
that is the big news this week. Another artist announced that they're dropping on May 13th as well.
Oh no!
The Smile is coming out May 13th.
Oh, I don't think there's a lot of crossover.
No, but those are two very highly,
Yeah.
highly rated artists dropping on the same day. So The Smile is dropping their album. It's not a self-titled like I thought it was. It's a light for attracting attention. The cover art is gorgeous, so
It's not the Christmas.
it's
color.
not the Christmas colors. I mean, I love Stanley Donwood's work, so I'm biased, but I think this one turned out really, really good. It kind of fits with the singles we've gotten so far. There's 13 tracks, so more than I thought it was going to be, even though I think there's 5 singles out for it. But I think it'll be a fun record. It'll be chill.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's obviously getting second spin on that day.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of a weird move to be like, hey, May 13th. I mean, they obviously didn't know and they have it set in stone, but it's like, hey, here's some of the most critically acclaimed artists of our generation, and Tom York, Radiohead, and Kendrick Lamar dropping on the same day.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah. So excited for that one as well. I think Jid was about to announce this week that he's dropping on May 13th, and then he saw that Kendrick announced, and then he said something, and he's like, I'm not announcing it anymore. So I think he
Yeah.
literally got forced to push his back. Because now nobody's going to want to release on May 13th.
Oh, well, no hip hop or like
Anything.
R&B stuff.
You don't want anything coming out on May 13th.
Nothing big. I think the underground kind of stuff, like
Underground's fine.
Smile's gonna be fine,
Yeah. I mean, that's not underground. That's going to be huge for the rock space.
right? But they aren't going to be competing with Kendrick.
No, not really. But we'll see how much he sells first week, because album sales are a lot different than they used to be
Yeah, I don't know.
when it comes to first week stuff.
Yeah,
We'll see how much he can pull in.
we'll see.
Yeah, it finally happened.
Yeah.
So we will keep you updated as things happen. Hoping to at least have some snippet of something next week to report on.
Unless
not-
he just doesn't do anything.
I
and
mean,
then
there's
just-
3 weeks, so there could be another gap week. But I feel like if he announced the 18th on Monday, he'd want to say something like next week.
you would
Not like people are gonna forget, but
No. I mean, I guess we'll have to see. What's interesting is that he still has the TDE thing like attached. Like I don't know how much oversight they have in it.
0.
Yeah,
should
but,
have
like
0.
according to like the release stuff, as it's like, I'm sure Kendrick had a lot of like, they don't usually meddle with his artistic vision. But like,
I mean,
what
he
is it?
carries
You
their
have to have a
entire
single
business.
out,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like they might have something to do. It would be interesting to see how this compares with his future stuff. Now that he's on his own label, And
Yeah.
he might just like drop albums.
And that's
the
interesting because
release.
TDE's releasing it, but like full marketing rollout, everything is full PG Lang. So I would imagine that they would like allow or not allow a single, whatever they want.
True. I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes next couple weeks, but
We're in the midst of the biggest rollout of this year, though. So
Yeah, for sure.
very fun.
Yeah.
We'll see. People were saying what features they wanted and stuff. Like, have y'all not listened to Kendrick albums? There's barely any rap features on these things.
I want Sufjan
I want
and
Sufjan Stevens and
Thundercat.
that'd be kind of sick, though.
Yeah, I would like that.
I need like an orchestral like Kendrick album. Just like give me string sections, give me horns, give me like a whole like 110 piece orchestra.
That's what it's kind of making me like think of
Yeah.
when I'm thinking of like, Cool in the Gang, stuff like that. Where it's main person and the blank. They're usually like, I'm thinking of like Celebration and Everyday People. Like those are big band pop doo-wop stuff.
Yeah.
We'll have to see. It's an interesting thing because the name makes it sound like it's going to be like this upbeat little doo-wop thing, but
Oh, it never is.
it never is. Like
Yeah.
all of his socials are black, like just the color black. The PG Lang website is like so corporate. It's like just folders.
Yeah.
And then the announcement is just a black folder with no like text on it.
We got the message about him not being on a phone at all. It's going to be very nomad like I think it's going to be very
There's this clash
organic. Yeah.
where it's the corporate.
It seems primitive because like even that site feels like early internet when things weren't so complicated.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a
Just like a
very,
site
very
map.
clean, organic, traditional type thing. I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting just like the little bit we have trying to figure out what it's going to be. Man, it's crazy stuff. We'll have to see how it goes from here.
I don't even know how we're going to react to that. I'm just going to want to
We're
listen
going
to
to
the
be
whole
like,
thing.
whoa,
We'll just be freaking
crazy.
out. But yeah, that will be coming. That kind of like overshadowed everything else this week. But there is a lot of stuff this week. So
Riddle me this. How was King?
how was what?
King Gizzard, I said.
Very good.
I listened to about half of it.
Omnium Gatherum. Yeah, it's an hour and 20
Very
minutes.
long.
It is very long. But they released it. This is their 20th studio album.
When did they start?
2012. It's been 10 years, 20 albums.
That's insane.
Insane. But so the first thing I want to say is this is not a B-sides record. You dumb idiots. Stop calling it a B-sides record. That's really hurtful to artists that are actually crafting songs still, and they're not just throwaways because this is not throwaways. Obviously,
what
if you
people
would
are
have listened to
saying
the
about
freaking
this?
album. Yeah, every time like it's like gumboot soup in this one when they call them like recap albums, or when they just don't have like a thematic element to it. Everybody's like, oh, these are just B-sides or whatever.
I mean,
Stupid.
it sounds like it's more proggy than.
It's very jam bandish. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like the through line through all of it is everything feels like they're just jamming out in the studio. So this thing is very fun. It's very groovy. There's a ton of different stuff going on, but like it all just feels, you just groove to it. I was just having it on while I was working. I'm like, man, this bangs when you're just like having it on.
Yeah.
But we did get the third single this week, like on Monday. And then the album came out right away. So that wasn't really like a lot of time to breathe with that. But we've heard Dripping Tap and Magenta Mountain. Kepler 22B was the new one.
Which are just the first 3 songs.
Those are just the first 3 songs. So they just did that.
Yeah.
But Kepler is pretty cool. There's a couple tracks on this record that are very like neo soul almost. Like neo soul, like groovy. But in a very King Gizzard way. There's just like certain parts of the track that sound like it, but that's very, very nice. There's some thrash metal on here.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that.
I love Gaia. Gaia's awesome. Like right back into From the Rat's Nest. Brought it back. The cool thing is like they're taking their styles from previous albums, but they're adding things from other albums into those songs. Like Gaia isn't straight thrash metal. There's like breakdowns. And it goes into like a more proggy section and then goes back into it. But Gaia's sick. I love how like heavy the mix is. And then those like moments of like clarity and like lighter things in the middle are really great. Ambergris, like super funky. This is one of their like most out there songs. I would say that if the next track didn't exist. But Ambergris is really, really great. It's like really funky and smooth. I feel like these guys can do anything at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, never would I thought like they would make something like that. Same with Sadie Sorceress. This is like a Beastie Boys rap song
Oh.
about a witch
Oh yeah, I remember that.
because it's King Gizzard. Why not?
Yeah. It's a witch.
I feel like, or one of the band members' grandmothers does like the little like old lady voice. She's like 96, and they had her on it, which is cool. But the beat actually goes hard. I thought it was gonna be a gimmick thing, but like it sounds like a 90s like hip hop beat with the drums. There's like that
Yeah.
those weird like reverby things in the drums. But it was fun. I mean, this whole record is like don't take it seriously because it's just like have a good time. Despite the cover art looking so like this is like big. This is this
Yeah.
epic grand statement, and it's just really
It
fun.
looks
Record.
like an Asia where it's
Yeah.
like these like super complicated
Yeah.
albums, like pop music.
Or like a Tool album.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That is not this. This is just a good time. Evilest Man is pretty sick. I love how noisy the guitars get on here, and then they're taking stuff from Butterfly, like those synthesizers, and mixing them in. So that one's really great. I feel like a lot of their subject matter is still staying on climate change. Evilest Man's like corporations and like fake news,
Yeah.
which is a cool subject matter. Garden Goblin was the only one I didn't like on the record, but I haven't listened to it too much, so it could grow on me. It felt a little too silly.
I think that's as far as I got.
Okay.
I got to the Garden Goblin. I'm like, I need to break.
I need to chill.
Maybe that one. I don't remember that one very much.
I don't
so
either.
maybe-
I just remember not liking it for some reason, so it might have to
Okay.
grow on me. I mean, I will say for an hour and 20-minute record, it doesn't seem that long, but that could just be because it's all over the place.
Yeah.
But Blame It on the Weather Blame It on the Weather sounds like like what Paper Mache Dream Balloon would sound like. We haven't heard that record yet, so I'm just guessing that's what it would sound like.
It's what this album sounds like, but I haven't listened.
Yeah,
to it yet.
it sounds like the cover art, where it's like this very like Beatles-esque or like
Yeah.
Beach Boys-esque like sound,
Sure.
mixed with like some shoegaze stuff. So it's like very noisy guitars. Yeah, this record's pretty sick. I think this is their best in a while. I don't know what their last
Butterfly
output
3000
was.
just came-
What
That was the
their
last
output?
one. Other than
Butterfly, LW, KG. I would say this is their best since Infest the Rat's Nest, probably.
Is that their metal one?
That's the thrash metal one, yeah. Which, I mean, that one's a lot of fun.
I'm not a big metal.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing with King Gizz, though, is you get literally everything,
everything.
and nothing is excluded. Like, even their rap songs and their now, like, funk direction that they're doing.
Hey, I'm all for their different stuff.
Yeah.
They experiment so much.
They really do. And I think this like definitely shows because this is their 20th record and they're still doing stuff that they haven't done before, and it doesn't sound like it's just rehashes of old material.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
They work hard.
Their consistency's like great. I don't know how they keep coming up with these new ideas. Like I feel like they invented like some kind of like Australian funk now. Because I've never heard anything that's like that, but it sounds so familiar in the way that like funk songs go. But yeah,
I don't know.
this record's a blast. It's just a jam fest. There's not like any deep meaning or like through line of a story like there are in other records from them. It's just like, here's what we got in the studio. COVID was over. We're able to record in the same area. We're just gonna jam out, and then this is what came out of it, which is great.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes.
I did pick up Made in Timeline today at the record store because they had a copy. Made in Timeline is not on streaming. I think it's their record they made last year. I don't know why it's not on streaming, but it's two 15-minute songs, so I'll probably listen to that for next week.
Made in Timeland.
Yeah. I think that was their festival like name, and there was a record to go along with it. I just don't know why it never came out.
The only thing it says is that it's the 19th studio album by Australian psychedelic rock band King Gizzard and the Lizard.
It's the forbidden album.
Are they psychedelic rock?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I guess I don't know how I would characterize them.
I think at their core they're psychedelic rock.
I guess
nowadays I don't know.
They're like everything.
Yeah, nowadays they're everything. But I think if you like break down all their songs under a microscope, the majority of them are going to be psychedelic rock.
Yeah, I think that's true.
With some exceptions, obviously. But yeah.
Okay.
Good record. I had to listen to it more, but like it's just great to have on. This will be a good one for vinyl when it finally releases. Sometimes they have them ready on like the day of release. This one, not so much.
Well, this comes out in the fall. Day was. Oh wait, that's the day.
That was today. Didn't see it. I think it comes out in the fall.
Probably.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. Pusha T. It's almost dry. It came out. I think he announced this the same day Kendrick announced, so it was a little crazy. We had the two big dogs saying when their album was coming out. He gave very little notice. It was Monday, and then it came out Friday, so we didn't even get to report that the release date happened. It just happened, right?
Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah. But it's almost dry. 12 songs, 35 minutes. It's good. I have to say that. Is it better than Daytona? I don't think so. I don't know. Daytona's built different. It's only like 20 minutes, but I don't know. That whole 2018 run was nuts. I will say the Pharrell and Kanye like face off of production here is great. Pusha T has the biggest flex in the world, just having full access to these two producers. I will say Pharrell uses the same 808 on every single song. It's like the man found one good drum kit and just like kept it for the whole record. I don't know if it's necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, why would you use the same one on every single beat?
It sounds good, man.
It does sound good. It's just like, I noticed it like almost at the end. I'm like, is this the other song? Because like it sounded the same. But I feel like this is gonna have to grow on me more. Like it was nice first listen, but I'm like, this didn't blow me away like Daytona did. And Daytona's production mixed with like the bar fest that is Pusha T always was just like, it was too good of a combo. And I think that album worked a lot better when it was 7 songs and every song was under 4 minutes and it just got to the point. And it was just really, really great. This one's a little bit more drawn out. He's doing a lot of different things. He's doing some different chorus stuff now. He's dropped the ad lib and he's replaced it with a Joker laugh.
Oh, good.
Which is very interesting. I was not ready for that. But I mean, this album is his Joker arc basically. So he's got these very expensive beats by expensive producers, rapping about cocaine in ways that he hasn't, even though he's been rapping about cocaine for about 20 years at this point. He still has new things to say, which is impressive. I think on a Hot Ones interview, he said like people don't get mad at Scorsese for making only like gangster movies. So it's like, why are you getting mad at me for only rapping about cocaine? I'm like, that's a good point because you do it very well.
That is a good point.
Yeah. But I will say Dreaming of the Past is absolutely incredible. Like that is one of the best Kanye beats I've heard in a long, long, long time.
Even better than Donda 2's?
I think it's better than everything off of Donda 2 and like 99% of Donda.
Oh.
Like this beat's next level. But yeah, that song goes crazy. Kanye didn't need a feature on the back end. He did the stupid, like, I'm going to record a verse on an iPhone and then not re-record it on a regular mic and then I'll mix it into the track. I don't know why he does this to himself. It's really stupid. And I wish he would just get in the booth. Like Dreaming of the Past would be like one of the best songs this year. And then like Kanye just comes on, does like a 30-second verse and then ends the track. I'm like, you didn't need to be on here. At least record your vocals on the same mic that Pusha T used.
Right.
I mean, his verse was pretty good besides like the whole, like, you know, he's still on his, oh, my family's falling apart thing.
Is he?
On our album about cocaine. I'm like, come on, drop it for right now.
Get out of here.
Right now, drop it. I mean, I understand that this beat is like absolutely next level, but stay off the track, please. Just so you remember, I think has a John Lennon flip for the sample. It's crazy. It's not like it's a John Lennon cover, so it's not actually John Lennon. But it was a cover by another artist, and they flipped that for the sample. No drums on it, and Pusha T is just the meanest person on earth on that song. That song is fantastic. Diet Coke's a bop. Hear Me Clearly, the Nego one is on this record. I thought it was going to be on only Nego's album, but I'm glad that they crossed it over here because I did like that song better than Diet Coke. And Neck and Wrist with Jay-Z is great still. Rock and Roll with Kanye and Cudi. This is the last song, apparently, that
Last
Kanye and
one.
Cudi will be on together. I call
According to
cap,
Kat-
but I mean, I feel like they always have like a rough patch or whatever. Song's pretty good. I feel like there's a little bit of a lower point on the back half of the record. I mean, having a song with Lil Uzi and Don Toliver like is weird for a Pusha T song. But I think they still did well. It's just a little odd, but I do like it.
yeah.
I think "Pray for You," the last track, is like a good way to send it off. The energy comes back. You got Malice. They actually feature clips on here now. That didn't do that on Friday. And Labyrinth has an amazing voice. I don't know if I've listened to any of his music, but man, his voice. He did the Euphoria soundtrack.
Euphoria.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But his voice is insane. I love it. But Malice has a fantastic verse. Push is good. But yeah, I think this record's very good. I'm not 100% getting it yet. I feel like I should like this record more than I do. It's weird. Because like you have a winning combination. You have Pusha T with Pharrell and Kanye. This should like be the best thing ever, and it's great. But I feel like I'm missing something still. But maybe I'll just repeated listens. It'll click more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I still feel like Daytona's like next level. But some of the bars on here are fantastic though. So I'll still probably catch some as I listen. But he's cold-blooded as always. So good job, Pusha T.
Nice.
Very good.
Love to see it.
I don't know how you're this consistent 20 years in, but crazy good. The Smile did come out with a new single when they announced the album, Free in the Knowledge. I say this every time they release a single, but this one's probably the best single. They just keep getting better as they release things. This one's very good. It is more Radiohead-ish. I think this was a Radiohead song that they've turned into this one. But they got some orchestral strings that come in. It's very spacey. I mean, that's all you need for Tom York and stuff. So we'll see what this record sounded like. I feel like they're going to do some heavier rock stuff like the first single they did. And then I think it'll be a very easy listening experience. They seem like they're just having fun, which is good. I mean, the songs are still sad, but they're not like soul-crushingly depressing like most Radiohead records are. So I feel like this will be a lot lighter of a listen.
Sure.
Which is good. I mean, at least I would hope so with the cover art looking like that. They could just completely like not go that way. Reminds me of King of Limbs, which King of Limbs was very like not depressing. It was just very weird, offbeat, and strange. But yeah, those are new release stuff. So that's what's coming, and that's what came out this week.
Epic.
I did listen to a lot of things this week in my journey. I've dug in too far. I'm doing the same thing Jerry's doing. We're on a parallel path right now. We're just letting people tell us what's good, and then we're seeing if it's good, and then we're finding out that it's good.
It's a big surprise.
It's a big surprise. I'll start with Godspeed because I said I was going to listen to more records last week. I ended last week with Yankee. That's continuing to grow on me. I love that one. So I went on to, I guess I'll go in order of what I listened to. So the first three records were released from 1997 to 2002. Then they took a 10-year hiatus and then came back in 2012. So this one is Alleluia, Don't Bend, Ascend. That came out in 2012. It is not too, it doesn't feel like they've been gone for 10 years, but it is different. It's a lot more, I feel like the records get more and more aggressive as I'm going through. It's a lot less ambient and a lot more like drone. A Although with this one, I get very big like visions of like Middle Eastern wars and things because that's what it would have been happening in the past 10 years. And that's the sound. That's the sound I'm hearing. That's what the album art is giving me. I usually find out the deeper meaning of these records like 3 weeks after I listen to them, and the vinyl packaging for all these records actually explains a lot more about the record. So, because I now own 4 Godspeed records, and I owned 1 last week. So,
Okay. So you're in it.
I'm in it for sure. But this record's very good. I feel like they have a formula. It's like the Up thing. They have a formula. They stick to it, and it works very well. Long songs that are super atmospheric, that have slow builds, and then crescendos that are not humanly possible. It's like crescendos that you would normally be like, okay, this is the most intense that this crescendo will get, and then it goes up again somehow. Like, I don't know how you even find room for that. It's like you're singing at the top of your lungs, and there's like some second wind that comes in, and you just go higher. That's what a lot of their crescendos sound like. This record does it as well. I like that it's under an hour. I actually like their longer records, but I think this one works very well within its time limit. But yeah, I love the drone throughout it. It's a lot more. It's very war centric, like Yankee. I feel like they use drone to kind of like make that feeling more. So there's always like this humming guitar down there. But this record's really good. I feel like I need to again give it more listens. I feel like I'm getting to the end almost. I have their 2015 one, their 2017 one, and their 2021 record. So getting near the end. But I also listened to, there was an EP I missed that people praise a lot. There was an EP between the first album and the second album that I didn't realize. So that is an EP. It is 28 minutes long. How many songs do you think are in that?
2?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to fill an EP. So 2 songs, but it's like 30 minutes.
Songs.
So
yeah.
But still right for New Zero Canada. It's got Moya and Blaze Bailey finning in the third. Both very good tracks. It does feel like a blend of the first and second albums. I feel like the second track on here is kind of like praised as like one of the best Godspeed ones, if not the best Godspeed song. This one is a lot more, it's a lot less like up to interpretation and a lot more like, here's a vocal snippet like of an interview with someone that happens like at the first part of the track for like 4.5 minutes and then comes back later, and then kind of builds the song around that. So it's a lot more, they treat it like a movie score and base the music off of what's going on rather than making the sound palette and then adding things into it. But it's just this guy talking about how he got a speeding ticket, and like going to court and like telling the judge off because the judge is like, you know, obviously like dehumanizing him for having a speeding ticket. And then he's just saying like, America's a third world country. I'm like, I've been saying that for years. This guy said in '98. That's crazy. I bought this record. This EP is very good. I should say that first. But I bought this record. I bought Yankee, and I ordered F sharp, A sharp, Infinity. I got that this week in the mail. I ordered it from their Bandcamp. They send you a personalized note with the record.
Oh.
The record is embossed. You get one of 3 images, and they hand glue it to the cover. And there's like a goodie bag inside. There's like literal schematics of a train. There's a smashed penny that got ran over by a train. There's like a notepad with like explaining the album and its creation. So it was like a $25 record, and it's like the best packaging I have for a record. It's like
crazy.
Extremely personalized.
Yeah.
Which I mean heightens the album. Obviously, it's a very down, like apocalyptic album, and they're like, here, we're gonna send you a personalized note. It's a mixed media record. Like it's literally like we're gonna glue an image on the front for you and put a whole bunch of crap in here to like help you understand the music more.
It's like getting a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, exactly. And the label on the record, there's no label on the record. The song,
it's just black.
it's just black. And
Oh, wow.
the CD version has song names. This one has song descriptions. They're not song names. It just describes what the song is, and it's etched into the dead space of the record.
Oh,
So it's
interesting.
like I had to look at it in the light and be like, okay, what side do I play first? But the record is 38 minutes compared to the hour and 3 that the CD version is. So it kind of mashes up the two. And there's certain
Okay.
parts that like exist on the record that don't exist on the CD, and then there's parts on the CD that don't exist on the record.
Hmm.
But I feel like it still works very well. I think I still prefer the CD version because I like that more drawn out type stuff. But I feel like the first half of the LP is like a lot more haunting. Like there's a lot more like atmosphere to it. I think the record helps it because it's like that dead air. It reads better when it's on speakers than it is in headphones. But there's like train snippets that are like sound recorded on like an old microphone, and all these weird things that come in. So it's a lot more like chilling when you have this physical piece of art that you're playing on this record, with like all these handwritten things that they give you and everything. It's like, wow, this is kind of crazy. This is like sent from like another universe. This is wild. It's like you get like a time capsule that you dug up, and like you're just
Hmm.
putting it on record for it to like to hear it. And the scariest part of the record is like the album title doesn't make sense for the CD version, but for the vinyl record on the last LP or the last side of it, there's a deadlock on the vinyl, and it just plays an F sharp and an A sharp forever in that loop, and will just play forever until you hit stop on the record player.
Really?
And it is scary.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the last track ends in a very like ominous way, and then it just gets locked into this, so it's like boom, 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 just like constantly. So it's kind of like the sound of like a train chugging along, like slowly, and it doesn't end ever, and it's very scary.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, this like wins best packaging ever. Like this is nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was F sharp, A sharp. Yankee includes a like chart of the three biggest music labels, and compares them to like warmongers, and
Mm.
compares all their subsidiaries. Like here's Sony, here's everything they own, and here's what they're funding. They put
Oh
all
yeah.
of that on the back of a record. I'm like, man,
I
these
love
guys
it.
do not play.
That's pretty
I
metal.
love it. Like these are anarchists I can get behind right here. Just some
Yeah.
lefty anarchists that are just making great music. But yeah, they just put like this gigantic threat on the back. It's like, here's everything you fund. And the front cover is like, we're talking about war, but we're also talking about you. And the cover is just dropping bombs.
Damn.
Yeah. And for the Slow Riot vinyl, the back cover is how to make a Molotov cocktail. So
Nice.
Okay.
I love these guys. But yeah, I got like 3 more records from them. So those will be coming in the next couple of weeks. I have to listen to the other ones. We're getting there, almost. But I've been very, very much enjoying them. After this, I'm going into Swans. So I feel like I will be ready.
You think you're ready?
I think I'll be ready. I think I've gotten a better standpoint of where I need to start because I started at the wrong end. I need to start with like soundtracks for the blind and then work my way up.
Okay.
But we'll get there. But all this is very depressing music. So I'm like, give me something fresh. Give me something not down in the dumps because there's way too much going on.
Yeah.
So through my very like, I'm deep in it now. Sigur Ros is the group name. They're from Iceland.
Yes.
I did not know this album existed. I've never seen the album cover. I've never seen any of it. But when it comes to like post rock things, this is like near the top of like every single list. I'm like, I have no idea what this is. But as I like read like the tags and what people were saying, it's like life affirming, positive, heavenly, ethereal. I'm like, wow, these are not things I was getting for Godspeed. So I put it on, and like it really is. It's like incredibly like ethereal. Yeah, this is like the Arthur meme when like the guy puts on the headphones and he just like ascends, or he's like, when did they stop tuning their instruments and play
Oh
the
yeah.
music? Like this is the music, and then he just like ascends. This is what this record is. Yeah, it's insanely like euphoric. I feel like music that's beautiful has to come from somewhere like Iceland, where it's just like a beautiful like area.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sounds like it too. It's like, man, this is just so full and like high, and it's everything is just really really nice. The singer has a very like high falsetto as well. I can't understand anything because half of it's in Icelandic and half of it is in a language he made up.
Oh, good.
So nobody can fully understand the record because he just made up a language for it. I'm like, all right. I mean, go off, I
Well,
guess.
yeah.
But I think these guys opened for Radiohead like on their 2000 tour, which does make sense. Like, this is Radiohead if not depressed. Radiohead if they enjoyed living. But yeah,
Yeah.
after like all the Godspeed of like capitalism is literally destroying our lives, and it's happening right before your eyes right now. The world isn't gonna be like some giant like apocalyptic like moment. It's literally unfolding right now. And then this record where it's like, man, this is just beautiful. But
That's what you need.
yeah, no, this thing is gorgeous. I don't know how to pronounce anything on it. It's all in Icelandic, but like I don't need to. It's like this is just great. It's it's still post rock. There's still some crescendos on it, but a lot more use of higher strings. There's not any drone really. There's a cool bass line of like Olsen Olsen, but like everything's very light. But this is also what I was looking for. Like I need some contrast here, and this is fantastic. So
There you go.
yeah, that's. I don't think I'm gonna do their whole discog because they do like a lot of film stuff,
Ah,
which makes sense for any post rock group to do.
yeah.
But yeah, so that's very nice. I definitely that's like probably one of the most like accessible post rock ones I've listened to as well. It's very easy listening. It's just you put it on and it's just nice. There's nothing to think about. It's just oh. But
Then
yeah,
I could get it.
but yeah, that was a
Well,
there was a lot this week. That was a lot.
yeah. And I have some.
Let's go.
I know. Crazy stuff. I don't know if this has been necessarily discussed on the channel a whole lot, but I'm a pretty big Post Malone fan.
I don't think we've discussed it much.
No, we have not, because he's been gone
Yeah,
for
I think we talked about
4
Hollywood's
years.
Bleeding on the podcast when it came out, but that was a long time
We
ago.
probably did.
Yeah.
It's been that long that we've been doing the podcast, because I think that came out in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been 3 years. We've gotten some weirdo singles. We got Motley Crue, the Playboy Cardi wannabe song.
Yep.
We got one right now with The Weeknd. We're posted pretty good. The Weeknd was too busy doing Dawn FM.
Mm-hmm.
So
I forgot
was
that
just,
song existed.
yeah. I mean, I listened to it the other day because it just
I mean, it's
came
okay.
on when I was
Yeah.
listening to The Weeknd.
I feel like they
And
tried
it
to
just-
make a smash hit and failed.
Yeah, I think that's what they were trying to do. Well, it's like two of the biggest people in pop right now.
Yeah, they both gave
mean,
like
I
a B plus effort. So I was like,
Post gave more effort than The Weeknd.
yeah, Weekend was kind of doing his thing.
He was. I understand. He was busy making one of the best pop albums ever.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But he did that. I think that's pretty much it in terms of like recent history. Like I don't
Mhm.
think he's gonna be putting the Pokemon song on the album. I
I
think
hope not.
Motley Crue and One Right Now probably are. If I was to guess, I'm a guessing man. But
I hope he realizes that those two singles didn't hit like he meant to, and then leaves them off the album. I love when artists do that.
I have no idea. It sounds like there's a lot of studio interference.
Ah.
But we'll get into that. He did an Instagram live the other day. I think it's his first Instagram live ever because he was confused on how it worked. He was like, I don't know how this is working. He was just like, he was wanting to play songs. He was like, I don't know if this is going to work. I wanted to just drop the album for you guys and have you guys just listen to the whole thing. But the studio wants me to play snippets. So that's what we're going to do. He just went on Instagram live, loaded up I think it was like almost 5 songs. I listened to the whole thing. And he was like, yeah, poured my heart into it. I pulled my soul into it. It's 14 tracks. So in contrast, Beer Bongs had 18. Hollywood's Bleeding had 17. This is a little bit of a shorter record.
If the songs are short.
The song, yeah, that's true. My guess is that it's
They probably
going
are.
for a little bit more. I don't know. It sounds different. It sounds more like beer bongs than it does Hollywood's Bleeding. But
Good.
also, there's like a lot of he like does a lot of choirs. Like he's doing a lot of backing vocals with himself, which I'm all for. It sounded
Mhm.
really good. Based on the audio for an Instagram live when he was playing songs through a speaker. So not the best quality, but from what I could
Yeah.
tell, it actually was. It sounded pretty good. The features of the songs he showed, I think the biggest one was Doja Cat. A lot of people were excited for that one. The Kid Leroy,
That
he's on it,
makes too
and
much sense though.
Roderick Rich was also.
Nice.
The Roderick Rich song probably was the worst one, in my opinion,
Yeah.
that he did. It was the first one too, and then he played that song like, oh no, is this gonna suck? Like, is this whole thing gonna be horrible? The rest of them were pretty good. The Kid Leroy song was actually pretty decent. I'm pretty sure the Kid Leroy was just doing like backing vocals with Post in the chorus, which actually sounded pretty good. Like he's going for like a more, I don't know how to describe it, like gospel. I don't want to say gospel because it doesn't sound like
It's
gospel.
more full. It's bigger.
Yeah, a little bit more full, a lot more like vocals in it, but it still sounds like there's like the trap beats and the stuff that we know from, I guess, both Hollywood's Bleeding and Beer Bongs, but especially Beer Bong. Hollywood's Bleeding is more
Your Bong's
poppy.
just so far above everything else he's done. I hate to be
Yeah,
that one guy where it's like an artist should do this again, but he should do that again.
I think he should do that again.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, and then I think he said this song has Doja Cat on it, and then he didn't play her verse. Like he played like his verse and then the chorus, and then he's like, "I'm getting yelled at by the studio. I'm playing too
Yeah,
much of the
it might not
song."
have been finalized yet.
Yeah. But the one song I thought was really, really good. He called it's a long name. It's Love Hate Letter to Alcohol. That one was awesome. That one was just like full on choir going over this like string and horn section. It kind of reminded me of that Kanye produced song on Hollywood's Bleeding. Is that like Internet or
Internet, I
something?
think. Yeah.
But it was just like heavenly, and it's just like him pouring his guts out about his like alcohol like stuff that he deals with. And like he played the whole song on accident. I think he like left and then he came back and he was like, oh snap, the whole song went. So um yeah, I was impressed. He's like, I don't have any times for you. I'm just telling you, like I'm just doing what the studio's telling me to do. And I'm just here. It was like in a dark room. He just had like the light, like the flashlight of his phone is the only lighting in there. He was just like smoking doobies and drinking Bud Light, and he was just like, "Yeah, this is the song." But it was pretty good. If you are in like, if you want to listen to it, I guess you can. But it is like pretty much 5 songs in their entirety because he keeps accidentally leaving the songs on for too long. So I mean, it's pretty much like half the album in this Instagram live. But I did enjoy most of it. We don't have any other details. I think it's called 24 Karat Toothache. I believe that's what it's
I think
called.
it's 15 carat, right?
15 Karat. Oh, I'm getting it confused with 24 Karat Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. We know how many tracks there are. We don't have track lists or dates or anything.
Yeah, it seems like there's some not good chemistry happening over there.
Yeah. That's why, like, I'm like, yeah, I want him to get, like, away from the
Which is
studios.
either gonna make it's gonna make like a really shaky album or a really good album as like a in your face type thing.
Don't know. It
Like,
sounded
let
like,
me do my thing.
from what I could tell, like it sounded different than
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood's Bleeding, which I think is what we were both worried about. Is that it's going to
Yep.
be another pop post?
Because that one way too like pop
too
mainstream.
commercial.
Yeah.
I want like another Beer Bongs where like, yeah, you can have your fun songs, but also like contrast that. And the majority of what he played were like sad songs. Like he
Yeah.
played the Doja Cat song. He was like, I'm gonna do an upbeat song because I know everyone's sick of being sad. So here's the Doja Cat song, and that one sounded like pretty upbeat.
If you got Doja, you gotta go hard.
Yeah. So Yeah, man. I don't know. It sounded good. I was surprised. I saw Post Malone was trending, and I feared the worst, that he got abducted by aliens.
Freak.
I know.
I
I
make
think
it
he
for a
talked
really
about
good.
that on.
What is he? The Bud Light guy? Like
Yeah,
Bud Light commercial.
he's done a couple Bud Light commercials.
He has.
He
He's done
did the
everything.
Super Bowl commercial
He's
for Bud
like
Light Seltzer.
he's like the new Chance the Rapper. Like the industry spit out Chance the Rapper after he did all that, so now they picked up Post Malone. Chance like
Yeah,
didn't have a studio. Like the Big Days, his debut album. He didn't have an album out, but he picked up like so many brand deals, and then they just completely just threw him out after that.
yeah.
Post
Well, we'll
Malone's
see what
in or out.
happens with his new stuff. Do we have any news about that?
I don't know. He hasn't said anything.
Okay.
Guess we're
I
waiting.
hope that comes out.
I hope it
May
comes out
13th.
May 13th, so everybody just doesn't know exists.
That's why
That'd
I
be-
was like,
that'd be so bad.
Post said he didn't have any dates, and I'm like, I wonder if just everything is up in the air right now.
Well, yeah, if things were scheduled now, things are going to be rescheduled.
Yeah,
So,
we're like, I guess Post does kind of have that rap, like a little bit from Stony, but I don't
yeah.
think. I
But
don't know if that.
even if you're a pop star, you don't want to do May 13th. It's not going to be
No.
good for you.
No.
I feel like, I mean, Kendrick has the pull of like whatever in the day, like max artists like Prince, like those people that
What?
require like deep listening, and are
I
like
remember that
critically
even-
acclaimed in so much, like
Yeah.
you want to back off basically.
I remember that happened with Kanye and Donda.
Yep.
Where, like people were like, "Nope, we are
Do not
avoiding
drop.
this one."
Yep.
Like I think people could tell that that one was going to be a big one. Or like reschedule.
Yeah. Which sucked because he rescheduled when the album was coming out 4 times. So people had to keep being like, when do I release something?
Yeah.
Drake nobody cares about anymore because it's kind of like,
Right.
I mean-
Well, and it's that one.
he's going to pull massive numbers, but like it's less of like people will still talk about your record because
Yeah.
people will just kind of like spit Drake out immediately.
Well, there's dedicated Drake fans.
There is,
It's like,
yeah.
It's like
but they're
J.
annoying.
Cole.
Yeah.
There's
I
dedicated.
mean, J. Cole fans are annoying too, but they're at least quieter and have more of a point than Drake fans.
Yeah, Drake. I don't know. They
Yeah.
keep sending me Drake songs when I'm done listening to Kendrick because I've been listening to
weird.
his stuff, and I'm like, stop recommending me Drake.
Stop playing me Drake.
I don't want to listen to it.
It's been a lot more like,
keeps playing Way Too Sexy. I don't want to
I
listen.
love Way Too Sexy though.
I know you do. I don't.
It'll forever be my hottest take is liking Way Too Sexy.
I think it might be. I don't know. No.
I'm allowed to miss
No.
sometimes, okay?
Yeah.
And this is the hill I'm dying on.
I miss
like Way
like
Too Sexy.
90% of the times. I'm not.
You were right on
I
this one.
can't even touch that one. Oh man. Well, that was it.
That was it. That's all I have. Stay tuned for things that come out. I mean, it's just going to be Kendrick talk for the next 3 weeks, and then 3 weeks after the album comes out. So
mean,
just prepare yourself for that.
If there's stuff, like I
If
don't
there's
think,
stuff, yeah.
If there's nothing released next week, we're not going to be.
No.
What could this mean?
Yeah,
We're
there's
not.
nothing more to like really process, and I don't want to dig too deep because like averting expectations is something he's going to do. So I'd rather just not have expectations to begin with.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to put out great art, so it's like not even like a worry of mine.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be good. I just don't know if I'll like it.
Yeah.
That's my worry. It took me a really long time to come around to Good Kid for some reason, even though that's like the most accessible.
I mean, when you start it with like T-Pab and Damn, though, that's like hard.
well,
you're going
Damn,
back in
like,
time.
instantly hooked me.
Oh yeah, Damn's great.
I think it's one of the like most visceral like experiences I've had with a record where
Yep.
like you get that ending and then it reverses and then you get the beginning of it again and I'm like, what? What
People
does that
underrate
mean?
Damn. Like, again,
Yeah.
I talked about Fantano last week. I'm talking about Fantano again. Like,
Okay.
people loved Damn until Fantano gave it a 7, and then all of a sudden hip hop Twitter was like, Damn isn't that good.
Damn.
I'm like,
I
Damn is
love-
amazing. Like, have you
Damn
heard
is
this
like-
thing? I listened to it again this week. I'm like, oh my God, how is this his like quote unquote worst record?
It's my favorite. I think
Yeah, it's
that's my
insane.
hottest take. Although I don't know if that's a hot take. I don't know what is worst, like what's accepted as Kendrick's worst.
I mean, I'd say Section 80 is just a lower level because he wasn't as experienced. It's still a very good record, but like,
I still haven't listened
it
to
doesn't have the polish of the next 3. It has like the rawness of like a great rap album, but like it's not as like polished.
I guess it would be a hot take if I said Untitled Unmastered is my favorite Kendrick record.
That would be a hot take, yeah.
That would be a hot take.
Because then it's just like, what are you doing?
I like it. It's,
Yeah,
it's
but it's
fine.
like the B sides of T-Pab are better than T-Pab. That's crazy.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to Damn. Listen to Kendrick before it starts coming out. This is my. I've given myself. I've allowed myself to listen to Kendrick again.
Oh, good.
So, just because, like, I overdid it when I first got into Kendrick. I listened to him for a year straight. I was in like the top 0.05% on like the Spotify Wrapped thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, now I'm chilling for like 3 years and now I'm back.
I still listen to him every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm still on my folk idiot mood. I'm still listening to Carrie and Lowell every day because I hate myself.
Not much better than me. I'm listening to freaking apocalyptic soundscapes for 3 hours on end.
Yeah, but I still throw on. I threw on Damn the other day because it just makes me feel good.
Bangs.
It bangs, and it won a Pulitzer, which is the best thing that he's ever done.
Exactly.
Can you believe that he's the only person ever to win a Pulitzer Prize?
That's nuts. Ever.
Crazy stuff.
They should name it the Kendrick Prize since he's the only person to win it.
They should.
The Kung Fu Kenny Award.
That would be great.
Cowboy Kenny.
Cowboy Kenny. When is he called Cowboy Kenny?
I think that's just what people called him when Range Brothers came out because he's doing the brother.
Oh, that's a good. That's a good
Cowboy
name.
Kenny.
Good one.
I feel like he might have said it in a performance too. He did that one like Vegas performance. I thought he said Cowboy Kenny.
Yeah, he did do that.
But
where he did like everything he ever did.
Yeah. Those are like little details that I don't want to forget. Like the ending of that show where you like sat in the chair and then had all the people come out and they were all dressed in like some like old school like Bible era like drip. And I'm like, oh, we're about to get something huge.
We're getting I have no idea where.
And then with him floating on the water and stuff, I'm like, man, he's gonna be on another level here.
It's gonna be biblical.
It's gonna be big. I would have to read the Bible 3 times to understand the one song.
He referenced Job. What does it mean? What does Job? What is Job?
He's my favorite Arrested Development character, but they don't know what else that means.
I forgot to mention Will Arnett is in Our Flag Means Death too.
Let's go.
Yeah, he's great. He's great.
I need to rewatch BoJack.
Yeah.
I'm getting a feeling to rewatch it. I'm like, I should just put that on when I'm working.
Yeah, just really make yourself sad.
Yeah. Well, I know everything that happens now, so it's a little bit less.
True.
Like,
I don't think I could watch it.
Sometimes feeling sad is good, you got to get it out.
I would have to skip the episode with the daughter.
Yeah, that's rough.
I don't think I could watch that again.
That's rough.
That is one of that is the most uncomfortable I've ever been by a TV show, I think.
And now with Netflix like cutting their animation budget, I'm like, I gotta appreciate BoJack again.
Yeah. They canceled Bone. Everyone's really sad.
Frig.
My buddy who's in Savannah, he said, I'm really bummed that Bones is canceled. And then I had to break the news to him that Bones has been canceled for like 5 years.
Yeah.
It was a crime drama with Zooey Deschanel's sister.
That's true. Forgot about that.
Yeah. So